The legend of King Arthur is related in many tales. The Knights of the Round Table, the fabled city of Camelot, and the quest for the Holy Grail, which was brought to England by Joseph of Arimathea. Although in early access, Tainted Grail is a dark yet enjoyable reimagining of the Grail Crest from the Arthurian legend. Set in the lands of Avalon, you take on the role of a house-field outcast during a time of evil that has cast a curse over the land called the Weirdness. This curse mutates creatures, poisons the land, and drives people mad. The only thing stopping the Weirdness from overtaking your home is a statue called a menhir, raised by the Archdruid Merlin himself. However, these statues are failing, and you are tasked on vanquishing this curse and saving your home. So, with the introduction of the game over, how does the game play? Well, the game is a combination of an action RPG with rogue-like progress, coupled with a turn-based combat card game. In short, really fun. There is a story-driven campaign, although at the time of recording of this video, it's about 3 hours long and only touches on what appears to be a much larger story. The story itself is well voice acted and takes on the form of a narrative novel that you actively take part in. Similar to create your own storybooks, only in this case you can't go back by keeping your finger on the page, as your actions are permanent and affect the world around you.
Once more, citizens of Camelot gather in their mead hall.
To get pissed.
As you enter, all eyes turn to you. After the fight under the menhir, it's no wonder people of this farmhold think of you as their next champion. You know they will submit to your commands, but what should you do with this power? Before you are able to answer, the door of the hall swings open. A sudden draft nearly extinguishes the torches along the walls.
Now then, I've seen some fireworks by our menhir. Did someone forget to invite me to a party?
Camelot's residents are repulsed,
Ask
and
the
guards
druid.
step forward to push the man out of the door. The druid smiles, revealing his blackened teeth.
I am now a member of this community, just like all of you. Remember that.
Everyone looks towards you.
The main focus of the game at the moment is the roguelike RPG aspect, which has you face off against various enemies while preparing you for a final boss fight, with 3 bosses being in the game, at least for now, and more planned in the future. Your character progresses through leveling up and by completing the boss fights, at which point you can choose between 1 or 3 passive talents and a new card to add to your deck. Cards are broken down to defensive and offensive cards, which are used during the turn-based combat. In addition, during combat you can activate a special attack called a rune, as well as using consumables such as healing potions. That sounds simple, right? Well, not exactly. Combat is a little bit more complex than that. For example, when facing off against an enemy, the enemy telegraphs its intention by having an icon above its head. In some cases it tells you how many attacks it's going to do, and what type of attack. It's then up to you on your turn to pick the right cards to counter them as best as possible. In addition, you can't just spam cards. You do have an energy gauge which only allows you to play a certain number of cards each turn. As you'd imagine, each card has a value, and the higher the value, the more energy you expend when playing it. This card mechanic with the value of cards and the energy gauge comes into play even more when facing it off against multiple enemies. However, if you've played Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering online, you'd be pretty familiar with this mechanic, and it shouldn't take too long for seasoned players of those games to get used to. So let's move on to how the game looks, sounds and feels. The game itself has a dark, grim feel that works well with the soundtrack and the cartoon-esque aesthetic, which is of course added to by the way the game narrates its storyline and the really good voice acting involved with that. In conclusion, I've really enjoyed the 4 or 5 hours I've put into this game so far, and I'm really looking forward to see how the game progresses, particularly the story campaign. I would personally recommend picking this up, however this is a game I did pick up on a whim. However, it hasn't disappointed me at all. Well, there you have it guys and gals, there's the end of this particular video. If there are any other early access games you want me to check out and do a review for, please leave it below in a comment and I will definitely check it out. But once again, thank you very much for watching this video And if you want to see any more of my videos, don't forget to check out my channel, hit that subscribe button with the notifications turned on. And now with that all said, until next time, take care.